The English language and literature, exploring its evolution, importance, and rich history. Introduction. English is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world today, serving as the primary means of communication in many countries and a lingua franca for international exchanges. It is also the language of a vast and rich literary tradition that has had a profound influence on global culture. The evolution of the English language, its varied forms, and the remarkable works of literature created in this language reflect the history, values, and intellectual endeavors of humanity. This article will explore the importance of the English language, its historical development, key movements in English literature, and some of the most influential works and writers that have shaped the course of literary history. The study of English language and literature is crucial in understanding both the complexities of communication and the deeper meanings embedded in texts. Literature serves as a mirror of society, and through it, we can better understand the cultural and historical contexts in which it was written. English literature, from its origins in Old English poetry to the contemporary works of today, offers insights into humanity's struggles, victories, and the ever-evolving notions of identity, language, and society. Let's dive deeper into how English and its literature have grown, expanded, and influenced both written and spoken language globally. The origins of the English language. The English language has an intriguing history. It traces its origins back over 1,400 years, with its roots in Old English, a Germanic language spoken by the Anglo-Saxons, the early settlers of England. These early influences stemmed from the migration of tribes like the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, who brought their languages with them in the 5th and 6th centuries. Old English, sometimes referred to as Anglo-Saxon, was quite different from the English spoken today. Its vocabulary and grammar were heavily influenced by Old Norse and Latin due to the Viking invasions and the spread of Christianity. However, by the time the Norman conquest occurred in 1066, the English language had entered a transformative period. With the arrival of the Normans, whose language was French, English started to incorporate many French words and expressions, which led to what we call Middle English, a period that lasted until the 15th century. As Middle English began to evolve, its structure and vocabulary were increasingly influenced by Latin, French, and Celtic languages. One of the most significant works in Middle English is Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, a collection of stories written in a form of English that was not only rich in vocabulary but also detailed the experiences of people from all walks of life in medieval England. Chaucer's influence on the language is profound, as he demonstrated how English could adapt and express complex ideas across a wide spectrum of characters. By the 16th century, during the Renaissance, English experienced another major change, evolving into what we now call early modern English. This period was marked by a burst of creativity in the language due to the expansion of trade, exploration, and intellectual discovery. A major figure in this era, William Shakespeare, is credited with revolutionizing English by introducing new words, phrases, and meanings into the language, many of which are still in use today. Shakespeare's writing had a tremendous impact on English literature, and his works helped to standardize the English language and showcase its capabilities. Key movements in English literature. English literature has experienced several key movements that have shaped how authors approach writing, the themes they explore, and the way they communicate with their audience. Some of the most notable literary movements include the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, Romanticism, Victorianism, Modernism, and Postmodernism. Each of these periods reflected changes in society, politics, and culture, influencing what and how people wrote. The Renaissance, spanning the late 15th to early 17th century, was a period of intense artistic and intellectual activity. English literature flourished with writers such as Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Edmund Spenser, who explored human nature, love, tragedy, and comedy in groundbreaking ways. This period was marked by an enthusiasm for classical works and a revival of interest in learning, alongside innovations in language. The Enlightenment of the 17th and 18th centuries, sometimes referred to as the Age of Reason, emphasized rationality, intellectual freedom, and the importance of science. Authors such as John Locke, Jonathan Swift, Alexander Pope, and Voltaire explored ideas about human rights, society, and government, using satire, philosophy, and reasoned arguments. This period laid the foundation for modern democratic thought and inspired significant reforms in social and political life. The Romantic period of the late 18th and early 19th centuries was a reaction against the reason and structure of the Enlightenment. Writers like William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Lord Byron, and Mary Shelley celebrated emotion, nature, and the individual imagination. They were focused on personal expression and sought to express the profound experiences of the human spirit. Romanticism significantly influenced literature, art, and philosophy, giving rise to a focus on intuition, beauty, and the mysteriousness of the world. The Victorian era, from 1837 to 1901, was defined by rapid social change, industrialization, and the expansion of the British Empire. Authors such as Charles Dickens, George Eliot, the Bronte sisters, and Thomas Hardy depicted the complexity of society, often focusing on the struggles of individuals against the backdrop of societal norms and expectations. Issues like class, gender, and moral conflict were central themes in the novels of this time. The modernist movement, spanning the late 19th century to the mid-20th century, rejected many of the conventions of the past and embraced a search for new ways of expression. Writers like T.S. Eliot, Virginia Woolf, and James Joyce experimented with narrative techniques and explored the fragmentation of experience. Modernism was marked by the questioning of traditional ideas about truth, language, and reality. Finally, postmodernism emerged after World War II and is characterized by skepticism, irony, and a challenge to established narratives. Postmodern authors like Thomas Pynchon and Salman Rushdie experimented with metafiction, magical realism, and narrative techniques that blurred the boundaries between fiction and reality. Postmodernism focuses on questioning grand narratives and encourages a multiplicity of interpretations. Notable authors and works in English literature. Throughout English literary history, there have been numerous authors who have had an immense impact on shaping literature and the way we understand language. Writers like William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, Jane Austen, Virginia Woolf, and George Orwell are just a few examples of how English literature has been used to express social, political, and personal concerns. Their works offer profound insights into human behavior, class structures, morality, love, and identity, creating timeless masterpieces that continue to resonate today. William Shakespeare, often referred to as the greatest writer in the English language, wrote plays that have influenced every form of modern storytelling. His plays, such as Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and A Midsummer Night's Dream, touch on universal themes such as ambition, love, betrayal, and fate. Shakespeare's work is still performed regularly today and continues to impact many aspects of popular culture, language, and theatre. Charles Dickens, one of the most famous Victorian authors, captured the struggles of the working class and wrote about social reform through novels such as A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, and Oliver Twist. His sharp critiques of social injustice are as relevant today as when they were first written. Dickens is known for his vivid characters and his ability to depict the hardships faced by the poor, making his works both compelling and thought-provoking. Jane Austen revolutionized the portrayal of love and social status in her novels like Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. Her works explore themes such as marriage, gender roles, and social expectations, all set in the context of the English countryside. Austen's works are widely read and admired for their witty dialogue, keen social observations, and strong female protagonists. Virginia Woolf, a leading modernist author, is known for her innovative use of stream of consciousness writing in novels like Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse. Her works explore themes like the inner lives of women, mental illness, and the passage of time, making her a major figure in 20th century literature. George Orwell, best known for his novels 1984 and Animal Farm, was a political writer who examined the dangers of totalitarianism and the manipulation of truth. Orwell's works have remained important in discussions on government surveillance, propaganda, and human rights. The impact of English language and literature. The impact of English language and literature cannot be overstated. English has become the dominant language in business, science, technology, and media. As a result, learning English has become essential for people around the world who wish to succeed in these fields. English literature, through its various historical periods and movements, continues to shape modern storytelling, influence global communication, and offer reflections on human nature and society. In education, the study of English literature not only fosters critical thinking and an understanding of historical and cultural contexts but also inspires creativity and empathy. Reading diverse voices in literature allows readers to connect with people from different backgrounds and experiences, promoting a more inclusive worldview. English literature can expand our understanding of the world and help us develop a deeper appreciation of language's power to reflect and change society. Conclusion: the English language and literature have had an incredible impact on the world. Through its long and varied history, English has developed into a global means of communication that connects people across borders. In the realm of literature, English writers have explored the most profound aspects of human nature, from love and ambition to identity and social issues. These writers, and their works, continue to influence how we think, write, and communicate today. As we continue to explore the English language and its literature, we gain insights into the complexities of both the language itself and the world it represents.